Good afternoon. It is April the 17th and it is 90 degrees and it's about 5:30. This is Lorene. I'm the human gardener and this is my mid-April walkabout. I was going to do it this morning, but I didn't get out here before the sun was shining right into the camera, so I thought I'd wait and do an afternoon walkabout. Now that the temperature is warming up, I'm going to have to start watering in the evenings instead of during the day. So let's just get started right here. You know, I'm really happy with this, my coral fountain, because it is getting blooms, and I have complained about this plant for months now. It wasn't doing anything, and now it's starting to bloom. So definitely we're in spring. Actually, I think we've moved on to summer. I think we had about 2 weeks of spring weather, and now the rest of the week is going to be pretty hot. I had to cut back my nasturtiums yesterday. They were just really getting out of hand. It was hard to walk through here, so I trimmed off all of the dead flowers, and then they're trailing. They're like vines, so I kind of wrapped the vines around inside of the planters that they're in. Let's see. Oh wow, I've got some sweet 100s that are looking kind of ripe. I'm eating them as fast as they turn red because they are so delicious. I didn't see these this morning, so they must have ripened up sometime during the day. Yesterday, I repotted the Mexican yellow bird of paradise. This one has grown quite a bit in just a couple of days. I repotted this one, and I had already repotted that one in the last video that I did, but you can see the new growth that's on that plant. It's really getting big. I'm having some trouble with my hibiscus. I repotted it. I separated. There was 2 plants in the planter that it came in. It was gifted to me, and I separated the 2, and then after I did that, I think I saw on YouTube somewhere that they don't like to have their roots disturbed. So I'm sorry, but I think it's making a comeback. I see some new flowers on it, and hopefully it'll be able to spread out because I put it in one of my larger trash containers that I use for planters now. Let's see. The pink fairy duster, I'm really proud of that one, and it is growing. You can see the lighter green leaves on top. That's new growth, and I'm proud of that one because it's rare, and even though it's rare, it is a native plant to Arizona. The red fairy duster, which you see more frequently, is native to Mexico. So I have a native to Arizona plant. This is another hibiscus that was gifted to me after the trauma of repotting the other one. I haven't touched this one yet. It's still in its original pot that it came in. But look at how gorgeous. That is just as beautiful as it gets. That is so beautiful. But I'm having a problem with my birds, okay? I filled the feeder yesterday morning, and that was Sunday. This is Monday, and it's more than halfway down. So feeding the birds is going to be kind of an expensive proposition. This feed that I have is supposed to be no mess feed, but as you can see on top of my it has made a mess on top of my hibiscus. So I'm just wondering if I just go back and get the other cheaper feed. Yeah, this is the 3rd one that I did. I thought I repotted 3 of these. Mexican yellow bird of paradise. I had at one time 13. These are the plants that I picked up the pod seeds and they started popping open on my kitchen counter, scaring me half to death. And then when I planted them, just about all of the seeds came up. So right now I only have 5 left out of the 13. I sold some and I donated some. So there's 13 left. This is the other hibiscus that I separated, and you can see it really wasn't doing all that great when it was in the other planter mixed with the other plant, but now you can see it's getting some new leaves on. So that's one of the things that I'm very hopeful about, because it can be more traumatic for me than it is for the plant sometime when I repot them. This is my orange tuberosa, and it's getting quite a bit taller, and I think it has more green leaves on it. My yellow bells that I started from seed, I'm so attached to these because I started these were the first plants that I started from seeds. I'll get that out. And now look at how beautiful they are. All of them are blooming. This is just beautiful, the blooms on them. Those are the yellow bell blooms. Okay, over in this area, this is my Cape honeysuckle. It is definitely growing, and I'm going to have to stick that up a little bit. But again, I don't see any flowers on it. It will flower, then it drops its flowers, and then it takes a while. But I see some flower buds. Can you see? I don't know if I'm too close to that or not, but those are some buds, it looks like, on the ends there. My vines, when they first bloomed, the first blush of flowers that came out, oh my goodness, this whole arch was just covered in flowers. And then they started to die back, and now it's just a few flowers on there. But boy, when they were announcing spring, they did it with a big bang. I'm telling you, it was unbelievable. So I think you saw this. This was a gifted palm. And I finished potting up the planter, the stackable planter from Dollar Tree. And the cute little toppers, I couldn't figure out what to put in there, but I had some little aloe vera pups that I had dug up and put in the little ones on top. And right now I have lettuce and some flowers that are planted in there. The only thing that I don't like is because the pots are so small that they are going to have to be watered every day. So I like to put my plants in larger pots, because in the summertime I've already started watering them. I water twice a day now. I used to water once a day in the wintertime, but now that the temperature is rising, I'm up to twice a week. I didn't say day, did I? Because no, I'm not watering twice a day. I'm watering twice a week right now, and pretty soon it's going to go to 3 times a week. But this is my purple Mexican petunia, and this is growing. It is really this is the one that I injured it when I transplanted it, and I think that I can say that it's made a full comeback. These are just the purple Mexican petunias that I started from cuttings. Okay, over here in this area, this is what used to be my vegetable garden area, and I am slowly transforming it into a flower area. So I just have not been successful with growing vegetables other than my tomatoes, which I will continue to grow, and lettuce. Even though this lettuce has bolted already, and there's a second one that's bolting, I'm letting it do that so I can see if I can't recover some seeds from it. My basil is also flowering, it's bolting. I am going to have to cut that back and see. That's more basil than I will ever use in a year. Over here, was a gifted geranium, and I repotted it, and that's one of the 98-cent flower pots from Walmart, and it does have a food grade rating on the bottom of it. In the triangle, I believe it's a 5. So those you can use without having to worry about harmful chemicals transferring to your plants. Another geranium, I haven't transplanted that one. It came in a pretty big pot, so I think I might transplant that later on, maybe in the fall. Leave it where it is right now. Dianthus is starting to come up, but I planted this whole pot, but it only looks like 2 or 3 little plants have started to come up. And you know, one thing that I noticed is that gardening is teaching me patience. And patience is something that I haven't had most of my life. I've been very impatient about everything. And now I just have to wait. I mean, these plants are going to grow on their own time schedule, not on mine. So I am really learning patience. Another geranium that I transplanted, and it's doing okay. These were the Lantana, and I transplanted. This used to be a vegetable container, and I think I had, they had the broccolini in here, and I had 4 plants, and I barely got enough for 2 meals off of the broccolini, and one of them I burnt. So that's why I'm not all that excited about growing vegetables. Except for this is another Sweet 100, and looks like I have a couple of red ones on here already. So I'm going to be, and we have a visitor. I don't know where my Hummer just went, but I hope you saw her. It's a her. She's not very brightly colored. This is the Morning Glory that I cut back, and I did a video. I talked about when I was going to cut it back, and there's a bud coming out on my Morning Glory. The moringa tree keeps growing. It still has flowers on it, and I imagine I still might get seed pods. Someone said after it flowers, it'll give you seed pods. So we'll have to wait and see, and that's another thing I have to be patient about. That's an aloe vera back there that has flowered, and hummingbirds love those flowers. My yellow tuberosa, most of the flowers have fallen off, and I'm just, it's looking nice. It flowered early in the spring, and so it's taking a rest right now. I don't know if I'll get more flowers from it. So, this is flowers from the scarlet runner beans that look like they want to open up. So when I cut back my Morning Glory, I didn't show you this because I didn't know what I was doing, and if it didn't work, I was just gonna not mention it at all, but it seems to have worked. So when I cut the tops off, because that Morning Glory bush was really tall, and I cut the tops off down, and then I just stuck them over here in these pots, which I set up for my green beans, my pole beans, which I never got. I think I got 12 green beans. And then this one is growing. This is one of the cuttings. So I've got 2 of the Morning Glory that I started from the cuttings when I cut back the big plant. Not much happening over here in the nursery. This year has not been a good year as far as seeds are concerned. I'm having problems with the seeds. But my little yuccas, I have 3 of them. One here, there's one, and there's one down there hiding under the carrots. But they're native plants and they will get big. So I just went ahead and put them in a big pot. Let's see, that's basically it, other than this. This is something I haven't shown you either because I don't do anything with roses. I've never grown roses before. And someone gifted me this rose bush and it was in pretty sad shape. And most of the leaves on it were brown and falling off. So I just went ahead and I took all of the brown leaves off and I cut it back to where there was new growth coming on. And as you can see, it has some beautiful flowers on it. So I'm gonna try to keep this going. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about roses, but this would be definitely a experiment. And that is a poinsettia, a red one. I have a orange one that someone gifted to me up in the front, and it's still doing great. These are the vinca that I started last summer. I need to repot them because they're really in a cloth bag, and I just put the cloth bag into another pot. But I want to repot those, and I was thinking about getting some more of the vinca because this vinca had flowers all winter long. This is the daisies that I gave a haircut to yesterday. I trimmed back all of the dead flowers on it, and it seems to have liked that the haircut that I gave it. My vines are just growing like crazy. I keep trying to pin them back or tuck them back in. See, I have to tuck them up until they catch on to something, and so they'll stay up. I told a friend that, and my yard was growing so much, I was gonna need a machete to get through here. But anyway, that's a quick update on April. This is my mid-April walk around, and things happening so fast that I'll probably do another walkabout in the garden at the beginning of May, because in 2 weeks time, a lot of things can happen. Plants come and plants go. So this is a project here. I need to put some water in here there's a little bit of water in there for the hummingbirds. And I like to give credit to people because I got this idea from Robbie and Gary in Southern California. They have the channel called Gardening Easy. And she came up with this idea from the dollar store. And this is a floral wreath form. And the red bow is from Dollar Tree, and it fits perfectly inside of the wreath form. And I think she uses hers as bird feeders, but I put some rocks in there and I put some water in there so I could use it as for like a hummingbird bath. But the water doesn't move around very much. I have 2 other I have 4 solar fountains for the hummingbirds. So the sun has gone down now, but the water comes up through that and it circulates. So there's one, and there's one over here, and I have one in the side garden, and I have one out in the front garden, so that there's plenty of water here for the hummingbirds. So with that, I'm going to say, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, and I will be checking back with you soon.